Welcome to the third session of machine learning series. In our previous two sessions, we have seen the basic introductory part of how to work on Python and what is related to machine learning. So in this video, we are going to look into the data structures, which are the architectures of any programming language derived from the derived data types or the primitive data types. So in this session, we'll be looking into the data structures of Python. We have four important data structures: the list, the tuple, the set, and the dictionary. So to begin with, we know all the terms clearly. We have already heard these terms in many of the programming languages. List and tuple, these both are a thing which we just use in stacks or queues, where we store the elements in a single row or as a multiple rows and columns. The same happens with tuple also. It is going to be a single row or it is going to be a multiple rows and columns. But with set, we will use only as a single row. It is not multidimensional, it is a single dimensional data structure. And dictionary is going to be a key value pair. Okay, so this is going to be key value pair. We will see in the detail what each data structure is going to have. And how we are going to represent is, list is going to be represented as a square braces, tuple is going to be represented as a normal brace, and set is going to be presented as a set brace, and dictionary is going to be also be presented as a set brace. Okay, so regarding the duplicate values, you can have duplicate values in list, you can have duplicate values in tuple, but as we know already, there are no duplicate values in set or in dictionary. But one more thing is, in dictionary you can have duplicate values in the values. I said there are key and the value. In values you can have duplicates, but in key no duplicates are allowed. Okay, so for example, how we can represent list? We can represent list as 1, 2, 3. Or if you are going to be having a two-dimensional data, you can have it as A, B, C. So this will be like 1A, 2B, 3C. This will be the data structure stored over there, data set stored over there. And for tuple, you will be having it as, this is also going to be like A, B, C. So your data set will be like 1A, 2B, 3C. Okay, for set you will be having it as only one dimensional, as I told already, so you can store only one dimensional data in it. For dictionary, your data will be stored like 1A, 2B, 3C. So this is what called as the key, this is the value. So you can have duplicate values in the value. For example, I can have a here, but I cannot have a 2 here in the key. It will say it is a duplicate key. Okay, so this is not permitted in dictionary. So the functions that are used in Python are list of. Similarly, here it is tuple of. Here it is set of. Here it is dict of. Okay, and most important thing is the order and the mutability. As we already know, this is ordered, this is also ordered, this is an unordered set. You know that's as this is a definition of set. Set is going to be an unordered collection of data, and dict is also ordered. The order of this cannot be changed. When you are mentioning it is unordered, the order can be changed. If it is ordered, the order should be as given. It should not be changed. When you come for mutability, this is mutable, this is immutable, and all other both are mutable. This is mutable and this is also mutable. What is this mutable? You can make some changes to the data. Once when your data is fed, you can make some changes to the data. That is mutable. But in the case of tuple, you cannot mute the data. You cannot mutate the data. The mutation is not possible in tuple except for list, set and dictionary. Okay. So this is the theoretical part related to data structures of Python. So this is regarding the theoretical part of data structures of Python, and now we will look into the programmatic part of how to use these data structures in Python. Okay, so your first data structure what I used is the list. Okay, so now we are going to use of list, tuple, set and dictionary. This is what we are going to look into now. So how we are going to use the list? Okay, so like any programming language, you will be using the variable. Like any programming language, you will be using the variable as just, for example, I am giving L is equal to, L is going to be represented as the square bracket. So I am using a square bracket here. I am initializing it here. Here the list is initialized as an empty list. Okay, initialization of list as to be empty. So if I want to add some element to the list, I'll be making it as L dot append of 5. So when I want to append a data, add or append, add a data, I'll be using it as L dot append. L is the list, append is the method where you're going to add the value 5 to it. Similarly, I'll append another data of 10. Similarly, I'll append another data of 15. And be sure that, for example, let me execute this program. You will find an error here. It will be listing you some error. Let me show you that error. So I'm going to print the elements now. Come on, L. I'm executing it. To execute, you can either go to run here, or you can run it from here, or you can use shift and enter. I'm using shift and enter. You can see some error will be reflected over there. What says is invalid syntax. Okay, I have used two brackets. Okay, I'll remove this bracket. Okay, now I'll execute again. Indentation error. Python is very sensitive to indentation. If you make the indentation to be in an inappropriate way, it will show error. Any programming language, you cannot see this indentation error. But in Python, you have this indentation error. This specifically happens with the loops also. In loops also, when the indentation is not proper, it will reflect an error. Okay, so there should not be any space over here. I'm running it again. Now you can see the list is added with 5, 10, 15. Okay, this is the list going to be there. If I want to delete an element, I'll be using just L dot pop. So what happens here? L dot pop will remove the last element that is added. What is added there? 15 was added there in the last element. I'll execute it again. Now the list is appended with 5, 10 and 15. Now 15 is removed and you have 5 and 10. If I execute it again, 10 will be removed and 5 will be there. If I execute it again, 5, 10 and 15 will be removed and you have an empty list. So let me populate the list now. And what is the type of the list? I want to know what is the type of the list. Print the type of list, L. The variable name is L. It is going to be a list class. Okay. Similarly, when you go with set also, this happens. Now I am going to use the set. So let me initialize it. set of, I'm initializing a set now. Now set is going to be added with same 5. Yes dot add of 10. For adding, in list you will be using append. In set you will be using add. The method name differs there. Yes dot add of 15. Let me print S. So you can see the set is given in the curl braces as we use normally. And if I want to remove the element, I'll use remove. Of what element I am going to remove now. You have to specify what element. In list, that is not the case. List will be added like a, all the elements will be added to the tail and removed from the tail. Okay, first in, first out principle. So for set, you can choose which element you want to add, or to the position to remove, everything you can choose. So now I'm going to remove 10 and I'm going to see what the element is. You have 5 and 15. You have 5 and 15. Okay. So now let me check what is the type of this set. You must know what is the data type, right? It is a set. Okay. It is a set. We have initialized it as set. We have initialized it as a set. So you will get the output as a set. That is not an issue here. But when you go with multiple databases, you have to find what is the data type of that particular variable or the particular column. Okay, particular feature. So for that we use this method type of the variable name. Okay. So the third one is, the next one is the tuple. How we are going to use this tuple is, we'll be using it as tuple. So T is equal to tuple of, I'm using the list as such. I'm using the list as such, so I'm not going to create anything new or initialize anything. So you're going to print the tuple there. It is going to be the same elements as 5, 10 and 15 over there. For example, to show a change, let me show here A, B and C. So you must use it as this. Okay, this is an string. So you're using it within the single quotes, or you can use double quotes also. So when I'm going to run the tuple again, you will get the reflection there. ABC is written over here. So the tuple is called in, so the list is called in the tuple. And if I want to print something, print of type of T. What is the type? Tuple. Okay. So we cannot perform any appending or popping operation or add or remove operation here, because as I already told you, tuple is immutable. Once when you declare a tuple, it is finished. You cannot add or remove or update anything in the tuple. Okay. But for list and set, you can do that. And for dictionary also you can do it. But for tuple, you cannot do it. Okay. Now we will go with the dictionary. Okay, I'm initializing the dictionary now. Then I'm giving it as D of 5 is equal to 5. So what is this? D of number 5. That is the key and the value is 5. Okay. So let me display D now. You can see 5 is the key. That is number 5 is the key. Let me say it as Sana. So now you can understand. 5 is the key and Sana is the value given there. Okay. So you can add multiple values to the dictionary, like you can just give it as here as D of 6 equal to lectures. So you can find the dictionary like this. So similarly, I can find the type of the element in dictionary like print type of D. Okay, so here I must tell you one thing. If you're just typing the variable name also, it will print the output. Okay, here also, see, I have given only S, the value of S is printed here. Here I have mentioned print along with a statement, so I need a print statement definitely. Okay, but to show you the difference between these both, I have used it here. I can use instead just as a D, right? If I use just as a D, what happens here? You will not get the value of D. The last print statement only will be executed. Okay, so I need the output of both the values of D and the type of D. So I need to give individual print statements. If I am going to print only one output like this, I can use only the variable name. Okay, so these are the things how we will use it in a normal data structure to add any element to it. Okay, this is a normal programming thing. When you go with data sets, when you're going to read some data set or to update some data set, all data in pandas will be used as data frame. All the data from the data sets will be read or displayed or stored as data frames only. Okay, so for that, whatever the data is, whether you are going to give it as a list or you are going to create it. If you are going to create it by yourself, then you need these techniques. What are the techniques we are going to follow up now? So normally in a data set, you will have all the data figured out there as such. As you can see here, I'll show you a data example. This is just a spreadsheet. Okay, it is saved as a .csv file. You can save it as a .csv file or XLS or XLSX, any format you can save as a tabular format. So in this tabular format, you will have the set like this. See, you can see these are the variable names, nothing but called as features. When you go with data sets, we call it as features. So these are the values. Okay, these are the features and these are the values. So for each and every feature, you can find here, see, a lot of values are there. Around 10,000 values will be there. You can see around 50,000. You can see 23,857 values are there, and around, I think, 23 columns are there in this. Okay, so totally you have you can see 720 columns are there. Okay, so to make out this, if it is going to be a data set, well and good, you don't have any issues with that. But when you want to create a new data set, then you must be aware of how to create these data sets using these data structures. So you must know how to convert these data structures, whatever we have seen now. Suppose if I want to convert a list to a data frame, how should I do that? I'm going to import pandas as PD. Okay. Now I'm going to give you the data. Now I'm going to give you the data. See, before that, let me show you. This is Facebook. This is the data for one column. This is the data for second column. And this is the data for third column. Since it is a Boolean value, I'm giving just as true or false. Okay. Since this is a string, I'm giving it as within quotes. Okay. So this is nothing but a list. One single list. Similarly, I can have any number of lists. For example, I am giving another list, another set of values, alphabet, comma 1200, comma false. Okay. Similarly, I am giving the third value, Amazon, comma 1000, comma true. Okay. We will. I'll tell you what are these in detail now. So you can see this is one list. This is one list. This is the second list, and this is the third list. Okay. You can see this values as like you have the values displayed like Amazon, some values there, some true. You have alphabet, some values there, false. So here you can see that it is nothing but a row. So each row is given as a list here. Each row is given as a list here. So this row has to be converted into a data frame like this. So this is the data frame. When you put all the list together in the data frame, it will be in this format. Okay. So this is how you're going to give your data frame. So let me come to the next line. What we should do now, I'm going to give f is equal to data frame is equal to, how you're going to give the data frame? Pd dot data frame. This is the method. Pd is the class and df is the data frame is the method of, what is the data I'm going to give? Data, comma, I'm going to specify the column names here is equal to, or you can give it like this also. See, suppose if I'm giving like this, what happens here? I'm going to print the df. Since this is created from the list, let me give the name as ldf, so that for next set it will not be. See, you can see there is no column name here. Okay, I have to give the column name here. So what I will do is, column is equal to, I'll give the column name as company, comma, some capital is given over there, capital, comma, status. What is the status of some business transaction is going on there? So we are giving the data like this, comma, columns equal to column. I'm giving this columns is the, you can see here, yes, data is equal to none. Here the columns, this is a, you can have this in Google Colab itself. You will have all these in Google Colab itself. The parameters are given here. What is the data you're going to give? This data can be iterable, dict, or any data frame also. It can be series, arrays, constants, anything you can give there. Columns are index or array like structure. So I am giving it as an array like structure. Okay. So when I am executing it, you can find the column name comes here. Okay. So this is how you will have the data frame created from a list. Okay. Now I want to print the type of the data frame which is created. What is the type of that data frame which is created now? It is a data frame. It is not a list anymore. You can see that this is not a list anymore. This is a data frame now. Here you can see that it says it is a list. Okay. Here you can see that it is a data frame. You are giving 1, 2, 3. You're giving 3 lists together as a data. Okay. So the next job for us is to convert the lists into, convert the tuple into data frame. You're going to convert the tuple to a data frame now. So the same procedure will be followed over there. So I'm copying it over here and pasting it here. It is going to be a tuple. So let me give the name as TDF. This is also TDF. Okay. So the column will be the same. The data will be represented as tuple. Tuple will be represented as normal braces. So this should be taken care. If you're providing it as a list, it is going to be in a square bracket. If you are going to provide it as a tuple, it is going to be a normal braces. Again, here it is a data frame. Okay. And one more thing, let me try with here. Print the type of data. See, the type of data is list because you have provided it with a square braces. Understand? Hope you understand this. And next we will move on to how to convert the dict into a data frame. Okay, here also the case remains the same. I'm going to copy this, paste it over here. This is going to be a dict data frame, so I will give it as DDF just for differentiation. So I'm going to print the DDF here, type of DDF. Okay, let this be as such. Here we are going to give it as a dictionary. Okay, so for the dictionary, what I must do is I must specify. I can give it as two ways. For dictionary, I can mention it as two ways. Let me tell you the first way. I'll give the name as, what are the names I'm going to give? Not name, it is going to be company. So for company, what are the values I'm going to give? I'm going to give the values of, let me remove all this. I'm going to give the company as the three values. Facebook. What are the three values I've given already there? Facebook, comma, alphabet, comma, Amazon. Okay. So this will be closed now. You can see that this is the list for the company. So this is the key and these are the values of that key. Okay. Comma, what I'm going to give for the second one is the capital. What is the capital of that company? We have to give it as string. So let me give it as capital. Again, it will be given as a list. The capital given there is 750, comma, it is 1200, comma, it is 1000. Okay. So again, let me come to the third column. The third column is status. Status. The values given there are true, comma, false, comma, true. Okay, so I did not mention the columns here because I have given the values here. So let me remove the column. DDF is equal to PD dot yes, here I have to close it with the square braces because there is no data closed over there. Okay, can you see it here now? It is going to be a single value data with Facebook to be in the company, capital, and the status. Okay, you can see that it is a day, even though it is a data frame. Let me remove this. Even though it is a data frame, you cannot find it to be as a tabular column in this format, right? So you can see that this is given as one single list. Okay, it is given as one single list, so you are having only one row here, everything put into one single row. So we have to remove this, not like the previous one. Here we have given it as a single list because each and everything is taken to be as a single tuple or single list. So here we are going to remove it, and now we can see that you have it as a tabular format. Okay, so remember, for dictionary you are not going to use it as a single list. Okay, so I told you there is another method for using this list. It is import pandas as PD. Then you're going to give the data as individual name, company. Company is going to be Facebook, comma, capital is going to be 1750, comma, status is going to be true. Okay, so the second value will be given instantly like this. You're just going to copy it, paste it here. The company is going to be Alphabet, capital is going to be 1300, status is going to be false. Okay, so this is how you will provide the values here. Then the same thing will be given from here. I've given it as equal to, that is the problem there. So now we will execute. Unexpected indent. So let me put it without indent. Now we execute it and we got the value as just as a data frame. So I'm not editing the video completely. So some error will be there and it will be rectified. So you can understand what is the error that I've raised and how the problems can be solved there itself. Okay. And with this, we'll be closing it up, because for sets, you can see that for dictionary, for tuple, and for list, I have told how to convert it into a data frame. But for set, you cannot convert it into a data frame, because we have already told that duplication of values is not possible. But for data sets, there are maximum possibilities to have duplications, except the primary key. Except the primary key, I can have duplication in the values, which is not possible to be had in the data set. Okay, so you can read the set as a tuple. You can read the set as a tuple and you can make it as a data frame. So that is the only possibility. So when you want to supply the data and create a new data set, you can use either the list or the tuple or the dictionary. Okay, with this, the session on how to use the data structures in Python is complete. And in your next session, we'll be looking with data sets, how to work on data sets, how to load the data sets, how to read the values, what is descriptive statistics, and many more. If you have any doubts in this, or if you face any issues with the code, please comment over there. The code for this will be posted in the GitHub also. The GitHub link is also provided in the description. And for further video notification, kindly do subscribe. Happy learning. Thank you.